Alright, so I'll often just go through Steam looking for new games to play. It's not that I don't have enough games, right? I just yearn for a good platformer. And you know me, I play a lot of Mirror's Edge, I play a lot of first-person platformers. I'm always looking for the next big thing in first-person platformers. Sometimes I'll even use the Steam Discovery queue thing. I don't even really know what it does or how it does it, but sometimes it'll pop up some really cool games for me, and sometimes it'll pop up really dumb RTSs, like I don't even play strategy games, but sometimes it'll pop up really cool indie platformers. One such example of this is Exertus. So I've been following Exertus since it was in like alpha or beta or whatever, and I was just kind of waiting for it to release to see what the reviews were like and what people were saying, and if it's half decent, I figured I'd buy it, I'd give it a shot. It's only like $3, definitely worth a shot. A couple weeks ago, it came out, and I played it on stream, and it was super fun. All the gameplay you're going to see in this video is from that live stream. And I just wanted to talk about the experience and shine some light on this really cool indie gem. This game is developed and published by this guy named Alone Minded. I'm pretty sure it's just a one-person studio, but either way, he's developed only two games, Inertia in 2017 and Exertus, which launched just a few weeks ago. So if this video gets a lot of attention, maybe I'll look at Inertia, but for now, let's focus on Exertus, talk about my experience, and talk about why, from a speedrunner's perspective, as someone who's been speedrunning first-person platformers, particularly Mirror's Edge, for quite a while, why I think it's a really interesting game to talk about. Exertus is a minimalistic first-person platformer with no real story. It's a simple game with a simple objective. Go into a level, jump from platform to platform, get to the end of the level. It separates itself from the crowd with a heavy emphasis on momentum and some kinda cool mechanics. Although these mechanics take this game to some pretty neat places, they also make the game way too simple by trivializing the level design. So let's start by talking about those mechanics. You've got a jump. And a double jump. Simple. I don't think I need to over-explain that one. You've seen it before. The next thing you've got is this slide. The slide is notable because it basically operates as a sprint, bringing you up to full running speed, except it also operates as a slide, since it makes you duck. Long story short, sliding makes you go fast. The game also features wall running, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. It's very Mirror's Edge, very cool, classic first-person platformer stuff, right? The last mechanic I want to talk about, and what I would argue separates this game from the crowd, is the impulse jumping. This is a boost you can shoot onto any solid surface within arm's reach of your character that'll push you in the opposite direction. So these mechanics by themselves, as you might imagine, lead to some platforming with lots of opportunity for player agency. You can choose to use your impulse jump across a gap, or just do a wall run, whatever works. What you're seeing from the gameplay right now is pretty much what you get. If you think you'd like this sort of thing, yeah, you probably will, it's really fun. The momentum system is pretty neat, even if the wall run is a little sticky and gross. That was really my only gripe upon my first playthrough. Exertus is interesting, it's fun, and it gave me a good 2 or 3 hours of playtime for like $3. I think it was on sale for even less than that. The graphics look pretty good, even if the textures are non-existent. A story would have been cool, but hey, it was $3, I can't complain. The game was at its best during cool moments of discovery in the levels, like this one in like the second level.
I got did I just get a Steve achievement for resetting the level too much? Can I just like... Oh, hell yeah. Okay, I'm not the only one that thought of that, clearly. Oh, there I am, number 61. God Gamer, Ginger Ninja. That's sick though. Can I just not do any of the levels, honestly?
So, what you might have noticed in that clip is that this game seems to have a lot of potential for skips with all these mechanics, and that's what I really want to talk about, is how these mechanics I've described interact with each other to make skips like this happen all the time. These interactions are at the heart of any platformer, right? And they're what make Exertus such a weird game to talk about. So, during my playthrough of Exertus on my livestream, twitch.tv/BlackBallGingerNinja, one of my chat members noticed that impulse jumping seemed suspiciously similar to rocket jumping in TF2. I didn't really know what that was because I don't play TF2, but luckily he explained it to me, so I gave it a go.
I've never done TF2 rocket jump maps, no. The rocket jump into double jump. Oh, wait a second. Heck yeah, dude. Game's easy. That's ridiculous. I'm getting an achievement for repeatedly resetting, which I think is kind of funny. man. Did I do fast? Did I go fast? 48. Damn, I'm a fast boy.
So, when you couple this pseudo rocket jump that you can use the impulse jump for, with the speed from the sliding and the double jump we talked about, suddenly the levels become kinda trivial. There is one dominant movement option, and it's doing this rocket jump. The entire game became my playground to jump over from this point on. Once I found the exit to a level in the broader level geometry, I could pretty much just jump my way over in 2 to 3 jumps. The level design stopped mattering. The geometry stopped mattering. I just needed to find a place to land, and I could continue impulse jumping to my heart's content. Oh, but it only got worse from there. About an hour into the game, I realized I could wall run on just about any wall I wanted, including these random pillars that populate the otherwise empty game world. Suddenly, there was no more landing on the ground. There was only boosting and jumping and wall running and then hitting the exit platform, occasionally landing if I had to. So you might be thinking, if you don't like rocket jumping, then just don't do it. Or you might be typing in the comments right now, isn't it your fault that you abused the game mechanics? And sure, I do decide how I play the game, but it shouldn't have to be my job to police myself on how I play. It is my job as a casual player to beat the level. If there's one mechanic that is disproportionately good at achieving that goal, you're darned right I'm going to use it and abuse it. I'm honestly not even sure if the developer intended for casual players to do the levels this way by rocket jumping to the end, but it's really the most viable strategy. So, casually, I didn't think the game was too hard. It was fun, but not too hard. But what about as a speedrun? What if I tried to push this game to its limits? As a speedrunner, I saw all these mechanics as not necessarily a bad thing. I figured that at a high level this game could be kinda interesting. And indeed, this game definitely does have the fundamental building blocks of a really cool speedrun. For example, momentum is carried through pretty much all your actions as long as you don't stay on the ground too long. One of the first things I noticed while playing the training level in this big open space is that if I keep hitting spacebar just as I hit the ground, I continue gaining speed. Since jumping only adds to that initial speed that I had upon landing, I could theoretically gain infinite speed on an infinite plane, which is again really cool. On top of that, your momentum is also maintained through the bright launcher things on the ground. So the game really encourages you to use the wall run to get speed and to maintain that speed through the launcher, and all of that by itself seems pretty cool. Sadly, after further exploring the game mechanics, I do not believe that this game would make a super great speedrun. To help prove my theory that this game was kind of a weird speedrun, I wanted to get at least one IL world record, give it the old college try. During the process of grinding for that IL, I realized the wall run, in all of its wonkiness, was the key to everything.
I can get speed from this. Oh, whoopsie. I accidentally went fast. Okay. We're cruising. Oh, skirt! No! 1 second. I'm consistently getting this here. Oh no! I'm accidentally good! Maybe it's not frame perfect, maybe it's a rhythm. Yeah, that rhythm helps a little bit. Come on. Come on. That hurts. Because the height's more important. You're right. Or the lack thereof. Oh god, I have way too much speed. Oh, sick. I done did it. My first world record.
So I grinded on that wall run until I got the Night 5 IL world record. And then it got beat with better routing soon thereafter. But my point, as you can see, is that the game is pretty much just impulse jump, grind wall boost, repeat. These strats are so inconsistent that the guy who did that run, who beat my run, doesn't actually use those strats in its any percent run of the night levels. God knows I wouldn't want to grind it either, I get it, I don't blame him. I wanted to further explore the any percent category to see if maybe at a top level this game is more interesting than I gave it credit for. But after watching at least the current any percent runs, it seems like a lot of trial and error, a lot of resetting, because this game's wall run mechanic is so wonky, but it's such an integral part of the routing in the game. If you want to go fast in Exertus, you have to understand the wonky wall run, and that's just something, after practicing, I've realized I'm not willing to do. And this line of thought is probably what led to the creation of the no wall boost category on the speedrun.com leaderboards for Exertus. Without playing both, I don't think I can make a judgment on whether or not it's a better category than just the any percent run. After spending about an hour trying to replicate the any percent route and see how viable it would be, I've decided that it's not something I would want to do, at least with wall boosts. But I give a lot of credit to the runners who have been grinding these wall boosts and learning the mechanics and really getting the hang of it. These are some really talented runners, and I think with more people coming into the community, or with more people unraveling the mechanics of this game, that it could be pushed even further. Something I really want to emphasize is that regardless of its speedrunnability, this game is really worth your money for a casual playthrough. It's a lot of fun, and you should give it a shot if you think it looks interesting. And that is a speedrunner's initial perspective on Exertus. Thank you for watching.